Hello and welcome back. Now in this video we're going to be putting in some action script, that's some coding. And what you'll need to do is first of all move your playhead back to frame 1 because we're going to be putting some code in there. I want you to go to the animation layer, click on the plus sign, and I want you to turn this into the word action. So anytime you do programming, this layer should be at the very top. Now, how do we put the code in? Well, you'll need to make sure that you are in frame 1. Frame 1 has a blank keyframe. To bring up the action panel, go to Window and Actions. Or if you're on a Mac and you want to do shortcuts, it's the Function key and press F9. Okay, so this is the code you're going to be putting in. Right then, so let me just explain what we have here. First of all, when you put action script in, you'll see a little A appear above your blank keyframe, showing that there is coding in that frame. What we are doing in frame 1 is essentially setting the scene, okay? We have our first two lines here as variables. And with variables, like you did within Python, you'd have understood that a variable is a container. And in that container, we can put information or data, we can put it in, we can take it out, and the data will change possibly during the course of the program. So here we have a container for our secret number. We have a container called counter, and that's going to be counting the number of times it takes for us to get the right answer. We have a container, we have a variable for guess, so we need to have a guess, and that needs to go into our variable. All of these are numbers, so our data type is integer. You'll recall that we have a message box telling us if we are successful or not. Those are words, and words have a data type of string. So we're going to call this variable result and the data type string. Please pay careful attention as to where commas, colons and semicolons go. To create our secret number, we're going to create a random number, and we write it like this. It's going to be an integer. We're using the maths method. It's going to be random, and the number is going to be between 0 and 99. It's just how computers work. All of those random numbers are actually less than 1, so it might be 0.8 or 0.08. So to change that, we have to multiply whatever that random number is by 100 to give us the numbers over 1. At the moment, any random number would go from 0 to 99. So we put a plus 1 in to make sure that we are able to go from 0 to 100. Now then, we have a counter, and the counter is set to 0, and that will obviously change every time we have a guess. Finally, the result. You may remember from the example that at the very beginning of the animation we see in our message box a message which says find the correct power level 1 to 100 to land the rocket on the planet, and then we had that little number at the end which is plus secret. That's not in speech marks, and that's just to help us to quickly have a go to make sure that all the animation works. When we've got our animation working perfectly, we can get rid of this because it wouldn't be much of a game for the user to see the answer at the beginning. So down here we can see that we've got action script by that little A. Go and put this information in. Pause the video. Once you've done that, then press the play button. We've still got more action script to do. So as we move along, we will see that we have different animation. In fact, we've got 1, 2, 3 types. At the end of the animation, we want to get the playhead to go back to frame 2. To do that, we've got to put in a single line of code for each of the lines of animation. Right click, insert blank keyframe. And all we're going to do is this. We type in go to and play, open bracket, 2, close bracket, semicolon. And that's going to say when it gets to there, it's going to go back to frame 2. Now, I would copy that. And then we're going to move along to our next animation at the end of this, making sure you're on the action layer. Insert blank keyframe. And you can copy and paste that in. So paste, and we've got that. And off to the final one, which is on frame 300, still on the action layer, right click, insert blank keyframe, and go and put in that code as well. So on the action layer, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 little A's. Okay. Now then, we've been very successful in that. Let's go and put in a blank keyframe on the action layer for frame 2, and we're going to put in a large body of text. So insert blank keyframe. Okay, so here is our action script, or at least part of it. So let me just go through this action script so you can understand it. First line at the top here. We'll remember that our message box is what is going to show us our results, and the first result was an instruction and that secret number. So that's going to be displayed. The playhead is going to stop on frame 2 until it gets further instruction. Then we come to some code which I hope you're familiar with. Here is the name of our button, play button. It's listening out for a mouse event. So it's going to keep listening until it is clicked. When it is clicked, then it's going to direct its program to this function called high-low. The high-low function is going to do a couple of things. The first thing is, whatever we put into our guest box, the guest box is where text is, but that information is actually going to be a number. That's why we have integer there. So whatever we put in our guest box is a number, and that's going to go into our variable called guess. We're also going to increase our counter by 1. So even if we get it right first time, the best we can ever do is a count of 1. Once we've got that, we come on to various options. So the first one is if the guess is less than the secret. Well, then what's the result? Well, the result is that we have undershot the planet, we have launch attempts and however many, and our playhead is going to go to frame 3 and play from there, and it's going to show the animation of the rocket going underneath the planet. Let's have a look and see what that looks like. So we can go to Control, Test. Okay, so here we have this, and we have a magic number or a secret number of 52. So let's say we go under it. I'm going to put 40, and I'm going to press play, and you can see that it goes under. So all of this works just fine. Now you'll see underneath that I have commented out this bit here, because I would like you to have a go at completing the rest of the code. A comment is where we put a forward slash and an asterisk to start with, and it's the other way round at the end. So get rid of these little comment marks and you will be fine. Now here we can see that we have a condition. So if the guess is less than the secret, then we have these brackets, bracket here, and this is where the action is. So if the guess is less than the secret, well, then the result will be a message which says you undershot the planet, launch attempts plus the counter, colon. And we're having an instruction to the playhead to go back and play from frame 3. And so we'll get that animation where the rocket goes underneath the planet. Here we would have where guess is more than the secret. You're going to need a result line here and a go to and play wherever that animation starts. And then finally, if we actually get it right, what are we going to write here? Maybe some form of congratulations. And we also want to know how many times it took. So we'll need to make sure that we've got our counter in there as well. So have a go. See if you can get it right. Don't worry. In the final video, I will show you what the answer is. So thank you for watching. Bye-bye.